Hey guys, here I am in my echoey, messy kitchen, and what I'd like to do in this video is something a little bit different. I normally focus on laptops and mobile phones and different things, but what I would like to do in this video is show you my coffee machine, my espresso machine, which is, I can't even put my hand in it because I'm looking over here, but this is the Sage Barista Touch, known throughout the world as the Breville Barista Touch, but here in the UK the Breville brand is more associated with toasters, with sandwich makers, etc. So they've rightfully rebranded their premium products as Sage. So I've been using this 2 or 3 times per day for about 5 or 6 weeks. So I think it's a good time for me to show you what it's all about. So I'm going to just be picking up the camera and just moving around with it. I know it's not the most professional way to do it, but I actually think it's one of the best ways to show you exactly how this works. Because I want to show you the behind it, and I want to show you, well, basically everything. But before I do, I just want to turn the camera around. I want to quickly show you the box. I want to quickly talk about why someone would go out and buy a machine like this. Here in the UK, this retails about £750. You do see it in sales sometimes for £650. I actually bought mine refurbished for about £470 because it was a big eBay sale and all that. But these aren't cheap. There's cheaper ways to make coffee. Definitely there's cheaper ways to make coffee, but this isn't top of the range either. This is a single boiler machine. Now you can buy a dual boiler version of this. This is the Barista range. There's 3 different versions in this range. This is the most expensive of the Barista range. But there's also the Oracle range, and the Sage Breville Oracle range has got a dual boiler. And essentially that just means that you can brew your coffee and froth your milk at the exact same time. Here, in this one, you need to brew your coffee, and then when you're finished, then you can froth your milk, or vice versa. Now, I was actually leaning towards the more expensive one because I thought that would be quite limiting, but in practice, it's not a problem really, because when it's frothing the milk, I'm preparing something else, and when it's finished, then I'll go and get the coffee, and then I'm good to go. And it sounds like this is all, when you have to grind the beans and you have to do all this, it sounds like this will be a big complicated thing, but it's actually very straightforward, and it doesn't take that much time either. So let's swivel you around and we can have a look at here. So this is the box, and as I was saying, it's Sage. Around the world you will know this is Breville. But I just want to quickly talk about this. This is what I'm sure many of you are aware is a pod machine. This is a pod machine. You put your pods, I've got different kind of pods there. You put it in, pop it down, makes a coffee. Now, before that, I was using, what was I using? I was using instant, and I was also using things like this. You just get like the powdered lattes and things like that. Now, those they're not terrible, but they're not great either. And this was definitely a step up. But this is a cheap thing to buy. Here in the UK, this was £40. But you end up spending a ton of money, an absolute ton of money on the actual pods, and it's not good for the environment either. But the main reason I stopped using this is because it became a pain in the ass. It was putting too much water into it, and yeah, it just became annoying. And ultimately, I did want better coffee. So here, this is the next step. Now, this is not a top of the line espresso machine. This is kind of a stepping stone towards that. It's a semi-automatic. You still have to do some work, but the machine does do a lot of the work that perhaps a barista would normally do. But yeah, overall it's pretty good. So I've got some accessories here at the top. I just want to quickly turn this around, and you can see some of the features. You've got the grinder there. It will grind and it will dose, i.e. it will put in the correct dose there with things falling about. Automatic extraction, automatic micro foam texturing, thermal jet heating system ready in 3 seconds. Now, this is actually a feature that is probably a lot of people don't talk about too much when they're talking about coffee machines, but a traditional espresso machine, it might be like a minute or so until it warms up, and you might have to do a test run, put some hot water into a cup, run that out, and then then you're good to go. This one, 3 seconds, turn it on, then you can make your coffee. And believe me, that was a big selling point of this for me. So there's some other features there. You can see the touchscreen, temperature there and all that. I'll explain all this as I go along. So at the top here, I've just got some remnants of what was in the box here. Most of the things I've got here are actually over in the machine. But yeah, you can see you've got the manual here. The manual's pretty good actually. It's quite a big manual, pretty detailed. I don't really refer to it, if I'm honest. There is a water filter which I've taken out, and there are some cleaning tablets. There you go, upside down cleaning tablets. So that is the box, and you know, it's really well packaged the way it all comes, and yeah, that's it there. And I will finally throw this out now that I'm doing this review. So this is the coffee machine, and I wanted to show you everything as far as switching it on and just showing you the whole experience, and that's what I want to do in this video. I want to actually make a coffee for you guys. So I've got the water here. So the water here, it will hold 2 litres, which for me is more than enough. I find that I just, you know, you can open this up, it works like a handle, and if you want, for example, you can do it like this, and you can just fill it up from the back. So if this is the back of the machine, you can just fill it up, and if I zoom in, you can see the water filter. And when you're ready, you just close it up like this. Now this is going to go to the back of the machine. Now I'm going to try and do this one-handed, which might be quite difficult, but let's see if we can do it here. But what I want to do is just show you the back of the machine. That's not too bad actually. Okay, so we've got the back of the machine, and there it's there. It's not very exciting, is it? But all you have to do, I'm going to try and do this one-handed. Might even lift it up with the handle actually. Just slides in here, put it in, and then close it down, and that's there. And you can see there's a minimum, there's a descale level, and there's a maximum level. You know, it depends what you've got in your kitchen. I prefer to just kind of put it at the wall. Another thing about this, in comparison to other espresso machines, is a lot of the espresso machines that you get, like traditional ones, they're a little bit bigger. And this one is quite small. You can see there, you know, it's just a little bit bigger than my microwave, so it does fit in quite well in my kitchen. Granted, this whole area is a mess now, but there you go. So before we go on, I just want to explain some of the different parts here of this. I've got a lot of different things lying about here. But at the top here, you've got the grinder, right? So you've got the grinder, you can see I've got some beans in. Now, you can actually remove this whole thing. You know, you can actually twist it off, take it off, and you can empty your beans and, for example, put in decaf, or you can see I've got different beans there I need to use. You can put them in. This holds 250 grams. At the side here is where you control, now I'm not sure if you can see this here, but it says grind size, it says fine, and then it says coarse. So for your espressos, you want it to be fine. For something like, I don't know, you know, maybe for a regular Americano, you might want it a little bit more coarse. But the beauty of that is if you make it a lot coarser, you could use it in, you know, something like that. If you want to, you know, make your coffee in that, you do have that option. You can see there is a little area at the top here. You can put a few glasses, a few mugs, or just any other accessory that you've got. Now I want to come down and I want to show you the machine from this bizarre angle. So what have we got here? So you've got the tamper, and this is really cool here that you've got this little part here that just holds it in, and it's fantastic. You know, most other machines don't have that. Then you've got the portafilter, and essentially a portafilter is just, the beans get grinded, grinded, I don't know what I'm talking about, the beans get ground, they come down to the portafilter, and you put it in there and your dosage will go there. Once the beans are in, then you tamper it down, then you lock it into here, and then this is where the espresso will come down, this is where the coffee will come down. Then you've got your milk frother, and tucked away here, you want to see this part as well, that is just hot water. So this can, if you want, just froth milk, if you just want to make a milk chocolate. You can also just put hot water in it if you want to use it instant even, I guess. I don't know why you would do that, but this has got hot water, so that's what we use for an Americano. And yeah, that's it really. There's not really a lot to this. Now down at the bottom here, you've got the tray. Now if you look over here, it's quite dirty here, but you can see here, I'm not sure if you can see it, it says keep dry. So this is actually a temperature sensor, and this is the mug that they give you for putting in your milk. And essentially, you'll see this soon, you put your milk in here, you put it in top, and then it can tell the temperature. Now the more expensive Oracle Touch, the more expensive ones from Sage, from Breville, they actually have a sensor at the tip that will, you know, that will test the temperature of the milk, and then it will know when to stop. This one does it through the mug. So, you know, it's not as good, but it's actually fairly straightforward. Over here you've got the water tray. Behind it you've got some tools. There's a little tool storage box where it's just for cleaning and different things, but it tucks away at the back. I quite like that. This opens up and there's a little symbol here that will tell you to empty it when the water gets to a certain level. You see that? Get my finger out of the way. It says empty me, I think. Yeah, empty me. And that is really easy to clean. Just put it over, to the sink, clean it up. Very, very easy. Very, very easy. So at this point, you should have a basic understanding of, what this looks like, what it can do, etc. Well, in fact, this is what I'm going to show you just now. I'm going to show you me making a coffee. So let's swivel back round and I'll show you this. Now, see it's loading up. Here we go. And this is the menu system. Now, I would say about this, I would say that this doesn't look as good as the cheaper models. I think the traditional models that have got like just the dial, I think they look better. But this is more practical. I do think that this is more practical. You can see, it's not, the touchscreen is not going to be as good as your phone or anything like that. And if I sit this down a little bit, maybe I'll turn you around. Is that better? Right, okay, that's a little bit better for me as well. So you can see you've got espresso, Americano, you've got cafe crema, latte, flat white, cappuccino, hot milk, and then you can actually add your own custom drinks and you can base it off anything else. There's a big menu system. When you first buy this and when you first switch it on, it takes you through a whole demo about pouring your first coffee and all that, and it's really good. It did actually help me quite a lot for doing that. There's a settings area up here as well. You can see language, cafe crema warning, clean cycle. So there's things about descaling, water hardness. There's a thing, they give you tips on how you can test the water hardness, to tell you how often you should descale, etc. Now, personally, I have mostly been having the odd Americano, but I generally have cappuccinos or lattes, if I'm honest. Now, when you get into any of these ones, you'll see the grind, you'll see the brew, and then you see, now that's a manual because, I'll go down now, it's because I had to froth it up. And then you can see a lot of different options here. Now, the first thing what I want to do is grind, and you've got, whether you want, press this here, you can do a single or a double. Now, I'm just going to do a single here, and then I'm just going to press it. Now, you can change this. You can see this here. I can put this up to 13, 14 seconds if you want. Okay, so you couldn't hear me there. So yeah, I can adjust that, and that's the great thing about this. You can adjust anything. It was grinding for 13 seconds here, but if you want, you can grind for 10 seconds, for 20 seconds. It really, really is up to you. Now, if I put this camera down for a second, I'll sit you down here. You'll see what's happened here. So this is the beans. They've just been ground there, and this is where the tamperer comes in, right? So they give you this, what they call the razor, right? And this is the razor here. And this is a precision trimming tool. So the idea is, you can see there's a little bit to the side there, it's not normally that bad. But the idea is that you move it around, you tamp it down. And I apologise for anyone that's got this machine. I know I'm doing this really badly, but I'm doing it behind the camera. But you grind, you tamper it down, like so. And the great thing is that you just pop it back up. Now, this trimming tool, the idea is with this is that you get this smooth and you get it all like that. So you put it in and you kind of move it around. I'll be honest, I'm not good with that. And I also find that I make more of a mess than anything else. I find that, just not using it is fine. The principle behind that though is that you'll get the same quality of coffee every time, because you're not changing the amount of coffee that's in the portafilter. Now, as far as the portafilter goes, you probably noticed before, if I set this down, you probably noticed before these baskets. Now, these all come in this this little box here. This is at 54mm filter baskets, right? And they're all kind of nicely presented, etc. there. So, what have you got? Well, there's 4 different kinds. The one that I've got on just now is a single, and it's for the ground beans. But you've also got ones, I'll see, so that's a double. This one's a double. It's large. If you want a double coffee, you put that one in. You just pull that out and you put this one in. Now these ones here, you will see dual wall, and there's a single and a double again as well. And that is for your ground coffee. So this is decaf. So if I'm having a decaf, I would have to take it out and put it there. I've also got ground coffee up there as well because I bought it by accident. But yes, so these are, you know, if you're using a single or a double, you just switch between them. Now I have seen some people saying that you should maybe just use a double all the time anyway. It gives you a little bit more flexibility, but I've found that the single is fine for me. But whenever a friend wants a double, I'll put that one in. If I need a decaf, I put these ones in. So yeah, pretty straightforward to be honest, once you understand it all. So the next thing you need to do is lock it in, right? So I'll come down, and you can see I'm just going rogue here. Now if you can see there, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see a little bit what's going on here. But essentially what I want to do is put it in like that and lock it up like that. Very, very simple. Now, if that does not lock, and this has happened to me, if that does not lock, what that means is that you've not done it correctly and you've probably put in too much coffee. That's it. But I want to just show you the coffee itself first, right? I'm not going to make a big coffee just now, I'll do that in a second, but let's just make, let's say cappuccino, and then I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to go to, there's custom, so I can change how long it brews. People say between 20 and 30 seconds, but I'm just going to pick single and let it do its thing. So I'll heat up and then I'll get noisy again. So that's just a simple espresso. When you saw that, I didn't actually go through the espresso machine, the espresso menu there. You've got the espresso and you've got the Americano and all that there. I just went through cappuccino. But I'm just going to pull this away. Then you can do this at any point, but you'll get your ground coffee here. Now this here is the official Sage knockbox. A knockbox is just somewhere to put your coffee grounds, and you just knock it out there. Now, I would actually say this is actually worth buying, something like this. You can pick them up pretty cheap, 10 bucks, 20 bucks, just somewhere to knock your coffee. Now, what you would do at this point is go and clean that up if you want, or you can do it at the end. The other thing is actually, if you put that in, if you push it down, it'll just automatically grind, so just be sensitive with it. Now, the next thing we need to do is put some milk in. So, I generally drink soy milk, coconut milk, etc. I'm vegetarian, but I would say it's not very good for coffees as far as the frothing goes. So I've bought some milk here, and I'm going to pour some milk into here. And I just want to show you, there's a line here, minimum and maximum, and you just need to try and gauge yourself. But there is, you'll see that as well on the inside. So this is the official milk canister, the one that gets measured against that sensor there. So I just need to pour some milk in. So I've got the milk there, and at the moment it's set in manual because the frothing one is up. I put it back down and it will say milk 77, etc. That's what I've set it to. Normally defaults to 65 and it defaults to like 6 or 5. I don't really mess about with it. You can change it around. Now, all you have to do here is lift it up. Now, when you lift it up, you can manually froth it, and you just push it, and then you can froth it, and then you put it back down and it will stop frothing. You just have to push it, start and stop. Now, by that, what I mean is, I can push like this. So I'm manually frothing now. Now this is what you do with a traditional espresso machine. You would do it yourself. That's how you would do it. I'm going to stop it. You just have to push the button again to stop. And what I'm going to do is push it back in and then set it down. So what I've done is set it down on the sensor. Now I apologise, I know I'm shaking around the place here, but it's quite hard with the one hand. So I've got it there. I'm going to change it to 70 degrees and say 7 frothiness. And what you do is you just press it It will do its thing and it will froth until you get to the temperature that you want. So it recognises the temperature, I believe about above 20 degrees Celsius, and it's just frothing up now. So this is probably a little bit more time consuming than the espresso part, but it's not long. As I said, what I would normally do is I kind of normally do it back to front, where I will froth the milk first, and then when that's frothing, I'll do something else, grind the beans or mess about, sort something else out, and then when I come back, that's done. If you had a dual boiler system, the more expensive one, which is like retail 1500 in the UK, you would be able to do the frothing and the coffee at the exact same time. I don't think it's a big thing though from most people, unless you're serving a lot of people in the family. I don't think that's a big thing. So that's it ready now. So at this point, what you need to do is, if I get a dish towel or something, what you need to do is take out your milk. You can bring up the wand. You can see it says steam wand raised. You want to clean this off now. Clean this off, and the good thing about this is it auto purges. Now a lot of other espresso machines you need to do it manually, but like you push it down and it cleans itself. And that's it, good to go. That's good to go for the next run. That's it. So the way that I've got it just now, I've showed you the milk and I've showed you this. It's maybe kind of backwards the way you would do it, but I'll just kind of mess around with it just now. So here's the milk, hot milk, and then I've got the espresso. I'm not doing this very professionally, am I? One-handed, and you can see that it is really frothy. I've made a little bit too much there. There you go. So there's a cappuccino that looks like a latte. It's a cappuccino that looks like a latte. Right, but what I would normally do, I've kind of bought a few different mugs recently, and this is the one I'm kind of gravitating towards as well. And if I put this one in, I'll go through the process again. I'll do it a little bit quicker, and we'll see what it looks like in this cup. So, you know the process now. You grind, you brew, and then you froth the milk. That's it. So I'll prepare the milk, and then we'll get going. And we'll do it this time a little bit quicker. So here is the finished article with my pathetic attempt at doing some latte art or coffee art using the chocolate shaker. It didn't really come out too well, but I need some practice with that. But you can see that the whole process is really straightforward. The beauty about this over many other alternatives to this is just the touchscreen and the customization. You will find that you gravitate towards the same drinks all the time. But the good thing is that when you change your beans, you can change things. You can change how much you grind the beans. You can buy a more expensive grinder if you want to get, something finer. If you want to grind the beans a little bit finer. But what I would say is maybe not coming through in the video, but this coffee is absolutely tremendous. And I have found that I'm making better coffees in the house than I'm getting in a coffee shop. So the light is coming into my kitchen a little bit better now. I've got 2 cappuccinos to drink. But hopefully at this point you will have a better understanding as to what this semi-automatic espresso machine can do. I think this is a good fit for a lot of people. It ticks a lot of boxes, and I think that if you're going from instant coffee, pod machines, Nespresso machines, etc., if you're going from that, or even an automatic machine, and you want to step up to an espresso machine, something more traditional, something that will recreate what you get in Starbucks, Costa Coffee, etc., I think this is a fantastic stepping stone because it simplifies the whole process. You know, it simplifies everything. You can change the settings, you can adjust the brew time and all that, and change things until you get everything just right, and then when you've saved those settings, you just push the button and then you're good to go. But you can learn how to froth the milk correctly, you know, for different types of drinks, for hot chocolate, for lattes, for mochas, and you can start experimenting and learning what to do. And I think if you then go to a traditional espresso machine after that, you'll know what to do. Now, I am sure there's people with this machine or similar machines that are looking at me doing this and going, oh, what is he doing? Now, the coffee was actually fantastic, but there was a few things there I probably could have done better, especially the tampering process. Now, this is actually quite important. The dose or the amount of beans that you grind into the portafilter, and the tampering process is, you know, how much pressure you apply to push it down. All of this is about consistency. It's all about trying to get a consistency with the coffee that you pour, trying to recreate that amazing coffee that you had. So if you adjust the settings, you get everything the way that you want it. You want to recreate that, so that's where you want to try and apply the same pressure, and you want to get it consistent. Now, normally with two hands, I can tidy things up, I can do it great, but when I was doing it there, I had one hand on the camera, the other hand had to kind of go behind the camera. I couldn't even see what I was doing. But even doing that with one hand, I could push the grind button, grind the beans, tamper it down, lock it in, pour the espresso, and then froth the milk. And the whole process is just 2 to 3 minutes at most, and that's including the cleaning process. Now, normally what I would do is pour the coffee and walk away, or froth the milk and go and do something, I'll come back, and then it's just 2 seconds and you're good to go. It really is quick, and it's actually quicker than the pod machine sometimes, because the pod machine was always mess up. It would always pour too much water. You had no control over what would happen. If it was ready to overflow, it would overflow and there was nothing you can do. Now, the one thing to note though is that this is quite low. So here's like a traditional coffee mug. This will fit under there, but you won't get a big coffee cup like that underneath it. It just won't fit. But that's why I kind of did it the way that I did it earlier. If I was going out and I was taking this out to the car, I would just put it into this, and then I'd, just pour this into the cup, put the milk into the cup, and just mix it up that way. It's not really a big deal, but I would say that it's actually quite a good height here as far as the level, as far as the mug size and all that. So you can accommodate different drinks. You might have to do it a little bit differently if you've got a tall glass or a tall mug or a tall cup, etc. But you should be okay. So, but the big question, should you buy it? Is this for you? Yes and no. Now, I want to talk about a few negatives here. As far as the negatives of the machine, so far I haven't found any. I'm still in the honeymoon period. I've not even descaled this yet, and at this point I can't find anything that I don't like about this machine. I think it's fantastic. It does every single thing that I want. Every single thing. Of course a dual boiler would be nice, but for twice the price, I can wait a few seconds. It's not a problem. So far there is nothing about this machine that I don't like, but enjoying the machine is just one aspect of buying this. This is not, a $50 coffee machine. This retails, like the website says this is £1,000 here in the UK, but it's like $750, $650 in most shops. And that's a lot of money to spend on a coffee machine, and that's not even the most expensive option. There's, the dual boiler version is twice the price. So when you're spending that kind of money, you can't just think about how good it is over the first few months. You need to think long term. The refurbished model that I bought has got a 1-year warranty. Now, the standard warranty here in the UK is 2 years. I believe it's the same worldwide. You can pick up 3 years where they'll take it back, like the company that sells you kind of take care of the 3rd year of the warranty. Now, the reason I'm talking about this, the reason I'm talking about repairs and reliability is that semi-automatic machines and automatic machines have got a very bad reputation for breaking, and this is no different. In fact, I saw a lot of comments from people that bought the earlier version, the earlier Barista version, where the return rate was apparently 50, 60 or 70% in the first year. as in the majority of the machines were getting sent back because they were broke. Now, that is not something that websites will talk about. If you look at the top espresso machines, this machine, this model is always the top model or one of the top models. But they don't talk about repairs, they don't talk about reliability. And I think that when you're spending this kind of money, that is a big thing. Now I realise this is, a problem with society as a whole now, as far as tech and all that, as far as things are designed to be thrown in the bin. But traditional espresso machines can last 10, 15, 20 years because certain parts can be replaced and repaired very easily. And, for a low price, it's not expensive to do so. But these machines are very different. Now, I've not had any direct experience of this so far, but my friend has had one of these machines, the different model with the same range, the other Barista, I don't know if it's the Express he's got, and he's had to send one back and they've sent him a replacement. He sent him a working model. If you look online, the general consensus seems to be that Sage, Breville are really good with returns, really good with refunds within the warranty period. Outside of the warranty period, you are, to put it bluntly, screwed. And the reason is, there's a few reasons why you're screwed. One is, if you go to the company and you say, hey, it's stopped working, how can I fix this? They will quote you a ridiculous amount. They'll quote you a labour charge, and then they'll quote you a ridiculous price for repairing it. At the point where you say, well, if I'm going to be spending hundreds to fix this, why don't I just buy a new machine? But the other problem is that you can't repair it yourself because there's very few parts for this available. If you look on eBay and all that, you won't see parts for this machine available. In fact, the only way you'll get parts is by buying a broken machine that someone else is selling on eBay. So there's not a wide availability of parts to repair this machine. And with a bad track record with returns, well, if I get more than 3 years out of this, I will be very, very happy. And it's just one of those things. There's more moving parts in automatic machines, automatic coffee machines. There's more things to break. My pod machine over there broke it. It puts too much water in. I can't stop it. So this is the problem with a lot of these machines. And I do think this is a stepping stone towards an espresso machine. And then, you'll know what to do after using this machine. But just bear in mind, when you are buying this outside of the warranty period, there is a high chance it will break because there's certain parts in here that are only really designed to last a few years. And when that happens, you either need to pay a ridiculous fee to repair it, or, well, really that's it, because you can't repair it yourself. They're not making these parts available to fix these things yourself. I'm sure there's people out there that might disagree with this. Look at comments, look at the reviews from other people that have this machine. It is a major problem. It really is a major problem, and it was something that really put me off from buying this in the first place until I got a good deal. It kind of swayed me. But it is important for me to talk about those negatives. But the positives are, in my opinion, if I get 2 or 3 years out of this, it's been a fantastic buy. It saves me a lot of money as far as going to coffee shops to get a good coffee, and I'm hoping that I get a good few years out of this. In my opinion, if you're spending this amount of money in a coffee machine, they really should give you a 5-year warranty. In my opinion, I think this 1 year, 2 year warranty thing is a lot of crap. You're spending this amount of money on it, but it is the way that things are today. All those negatives aside, just be aware of that repair, reliability thing. Check out other reviews as well to see what other people are saying about this. But all that aside, I love this machine. I really do love this machine, and I can't think of anything apart from potential future issues with things breaking down. I can't think of anything that I don't like about it. When this is working, and it's working fine for me, it's a fantastic machine, really easy to use. In fact, it's so easy to use, I think people that don't even know anything about coffee could use it. Yeah, I can't fault it. It's just great. Normal espresso machines will take a minute or so to warm up the boiler, and then you need to pour a few glasses to make sure everything's heated up. This heats up in seconds. I could put another coffee right now and it will be warm. Absolutely no problems. This fits into my lifestyle of not waiting around, and it's really easy to use. And I know I will go out to something better in the future, but right now this is perfect for me. Just be aware of the repair issues and reliability issues. They are there. I've not experienced them myself. I hate to keep going on about this, but this is an expensive machine, and just be aware that should it break outside of warranty, you will have to pay through the nose. Just be aware of that, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It has been a very long video, but I hope you've got a better understanding as to what this machine is all about, what it can do, what you can expect from it, and why it's better than a pod machine. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do leave a comment below if you've got any questions, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Take care.